It was a Friday evening when Tessie decided to visit Amaka. They had been friends for years, sharing countless memories and supporting each other through thick and thin. Tessie, knowing how overwhelmed and lonely Amaka had been feeling, suggested they go out for a night of fun and relaxation. "Amaka, you need a break," Tessie insisted, her voice full of concern. "Let's go to that new club in town. It'll be good for you to unwind." Amaka hesitated, glancing at her 3-year-old daughter Aisha, playing on the living room floor. "I don't know, Tessie. What about Aisha?" "We can bring her with us," Tessie replied with a reassuring smile. "It's early enough. She can enjoy the music and fall asleep when she gets tired. I'll help you keep an eye on her." Amaka finally agreed, and the two friends, along with little Aisha, got ready for their night out. Amaka dressed Aisha in a cute, comfortable outfit and a backpack filled with her toys, while she and Tessie put on their best dresses and did their makeup, excited to have some fun. Club was buzzing with energy when they arrived. The music was loud, the lights were flashing, and people were dancing and laughing all around. Amaka and Tessie found a cozy corner where they could watch over Aisha while still enjoying the ambience. They ordered drinks and chatted, reminiscing about old times. For the first time in a long while, Amaka felt a sense of normalcy and happiness. As the night progressed, Aisha fell asleep on the plush sofa in their corner. Amaka covered her with a soft blanket she had brought from home, ensuring her daughter was comfortable and safe. The hours flew by as Amaka and Tessie laughed, danced, and enjoyed themselves. Amaka soon began to feel the effects of the drinks and the exhaustion from her rare night out. She leaned back on the sofa, intending to rest her eyes for just a moment. Before she knew it, she had drifted off to sleep. Amaka woke up with a start in the wee hours of the morning. Club was closing up, and the once vibrant atmosphere had quieted down. She looked around groggily, her eyes widening as she realized that both Tessie and Aisha were nowhere to be found. "Tessie? Aisha?" she called out, her voice trembling with panic. She frantically searched the club, asking the remaining staff and patrons if they had seen her friend or her daughter, but no one had any answers. Heart pounding, Amaka rushed outside, hoping to find them there. With shaking hands, she pulled out her phone and called Musa, who was away on a business trip. "Musa, I can't find Aisha and Tessie," she cried, her voice choked with fear. "I don't know where they are. I've looked everywhere. Please help me." Musa's voice, usually steady and reassuring, was filled with concern. "Amaka, try to stay calm. I don't understand, what do you mean? Where are you?" Amaka starts crying some more as she tries to explain. Musa, trying not to panic, tells her to alert the authorities and thoroughly search the club. He disconnected the call after assuring his wife he would soon be back. He said a quick prayer and immediately started looking for the next available flight back to Lagos. Amaka took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. She went back inside the club and pleaded with the staff to help her look. They combed through every corner of the establishment, but there was no sign of Tessie or Aisha. She tried calling Tessie's number multiple times, but her calls never went through. Musa called back, his voice tense. "I've alerted the authorities and I'm on my way back. You can go home and wait until I get there. We're going to find them, Amaka. I promise." As the minutes ticked by, Amaka's desperation grew. Amaka paced back and forth in her living room, her heart pounding in her chest. She felt utterly helpless. All she could do was wait and pray that Aisha and Tessie were safe. As she waited, she couldn't help but wonder why this was happening to her and how things got to this point. Amaka was a young, ambitious woman who had just completed her university education. Excited about the next chapter of her life, she arrived at the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) camp with high hopes and a sense of adventure. Camp, located in the lush countryside of Nigeria, was a bustling hub of young graduates from all over the country. On the first day of camp, Amaka caught the eye of Musa, a tall and charming young man from the northern part of Nigeria. Musa was immediately smitten by her beauty and grace. She had a radiant smile and a confident demeanor that set her apart. Despite his initial shyness, Musa found himself drawn to her, watching her from afar during activities and training sessions. Musa's crush on Amaka grew with each passing day. He admired her intelligence and how she effortlessly excelled in every task. Though they had never spoken, he felt a connection to her. His friends teased him about his silent infatuation, encouraging him to make a move. One evening, fate brought Amaka and Musa together during a group activity. They were paired up for a teamwork exercise, and Musa seized the opportunity to introduce himself. "Hi, I'm Musa," he said, extending his hand with a warm smile. "Nice to meet you, Musa." "I'm Amaka," she replied, shaking his hand. They quickly bonded over their shared experiences and dreams for the future. As the weeks went by, Musa and Amaka's friendship blossomed. They spent their free time talking about their backgrounds, ambitions, and plans after NYSC. Amaka enjoyed Musa's company and appreciated his kindness and sincerity. However, she saw him only as a friend, unaware of the depth of his feelings for her. The final day of NYSC camp was a mix of emotions for everyone. There was excitement about the future, but also sadness about leaving newfound friends. A grand farewell party was organized. The farewell party was a lively affair, with music, dancing, and laughter filling the air. Amaka looked stunning in a vibrant, colorful dress that highlighted her beauty. Musa, determined to make the most of their last night together, gathered his courage and asked her dance. As they danced, Musa finally confessed his feelings. "Amaka, I've had a crush on you since the first day I saw you. I didn't know how to tell you, but I couldn't let you leave without saying it." Amaka was taken aback by his honesty. "Musa, I had no idea. You're a wonderful friend and I value our time together." The night progressed and the party grew more intense. Under the influence of music, emotions, and a few drinks, Amaka and Musa found themselves alone in a quiet corner of the camp. Combination of the emotional farewell and Musa's heartfelt confession led to a moment of weakness. They shared a passionate kiss, and one thing led to another. In the heat of the moment, Amaka and Musa gave in to their desires. They spent the night together, wrapped in each other's arms. It was a night of passion, driven by the emotions of the impending farewell. The next morning, Amaka woke up with a sense of regret and confusion. She realized the gravity of what had happened. Musa, too, felt a mix of happiness and uncertainty. They parted ways with an awkward goodbye. After leaving camp, Amaka returned to her hometown and focused on starting her career. She pushed the memory of that night to the back of her mind, hoping to move on. Musa, on the other hand, could not forget Amaka and the night they had. A few weeks later, Amaka began to feel unwell. She experienced fatigue and missed her period. Fearing the worst, she took a pregnancy test, which confirmed her suspicions. She was pregnant. Amaka was overwhelmed with shock and fear. Pregnancy was unplanned and unwanted. She had always been careful and responsible, but one night of recklessness had changed everything. She knew she had to make a decision and face the consequences. Despite her initial hesitation, Amaka decided to contact Musa and inform him about the pregnancy. She knew he had a right to know and deserved to be part of the decision-making process. She dialed his number with trembling hands. "Musa, it's Amaka. We need to talk." "It's important," she said, her voice shaky. "Amaka, is everything okay?" Musa replied, concern evident in his voice. "No, Musa. I'm pregnant," she said, tears streaming down her face. Musa was stunned by the news. He had never expected their one night together to lead to this. However, he quickly composed himself and assured Amaka that he would support her no matter what. "Amaka, I'm here for you. We will figure this out together," he said, trying to comfort her. Amaka was conflicted. She didn't want to keep the baby, and the idea of marrying Musa was not appealing to her. She had plans for her future, dreams of a career, and independence. The thought of being tied down by an unplanned pregnancy and a marriage she wasn't ready for terrified her. "Musa, I don't think I can do this. I don't want to keep the baby and I don't want to get married," she confessed, her voice filled with despair. Musa was determined to change her mind. He knew he had to convince her that they could make it work. He promised her the world, assuring her of his love and commitment. "Amaka, please don't make any hasty decisions. I have the means to take care of you and our baby. I have a good job and I can provide a comfortable life for us. We can make this work," he pleaded, his eyes filled with sincerity. Musa's wealth and promises began to weigh on Amaka's mind. He showed her the life he could offer, his luxurious apartment, his car, and his plans for their future. The security and comfort he promised were tempting, especially considering the uncertainty of her own future. "Amaka, I will make sure you and our child have everything you need. You won't have to worry about anything. Just give us a chance," Musa said, taking her hand. Amaka was torn between her dreams and the reality of her situation. She sought advice from her family and friends, who urged her to consider Musa's offer. They reminded her of the challenges of single motherhood and the benefits of having a supportive partner. "Amaka, Musa seems like a good man who genuinely cares for you. Think about the future of your child. It's not just about you anymore," her mother advised gently. After much contemplation, Amaka made the difficult decision to keep the baby and give her relationship with Musa a chance. She realized that while it wasn't the path she had envisioned for herself, it was one that could lead to a stable and secure future for her and her child. "Musa, I've thought about it a lot. I'm willing to give this a try. But we need to take things one step at a time," she told him, her voice steady but cautious. As Amaka's pregnancy progressed, she and Musa grew closer. They navigated the challenges of impending parenthood together, learning to trust and rely on each other. Musa's unwavering support and genuine affection helped Amaka come to terms with her new reality. The day finally arrived, and Amaka gave birth to a healthy baby girl. They named her Aisha, a symbol of their unity and the unexpected journey that brought them together. Holding their daughter in their arms, they felt a profound sense of purpose and commitment. Despite the seemingly perfect life that Amaka had built with Musa, an undercurrent of dissatisfaction ran through her days. She lived in a spacious, well-furnished apartment, adorned with every comfort one could desire. She drove a sleek car, shopped at the finest stores, and enjoyed a lifestyle many would envy. Yet deep within, Amaka felt a void that all the luxury in the world could not fill. Amaka's days were marked by a monotonous routine. With no job to engage her, she often found herself wandering aimlessly through the house, her mind consumed by thoughts of what could have been. Musa, always the provider, had insisted she did not need to work, offering her a generous monthly allowance to ensure she never wanted for anything. But the lack of purpose and a job made her feel like a caged bird. As she sat on the plush sofa in their living room, Amaka's thoughts often drifted back to her days before NYC. She had dreamed of a successful career, of making a name for herself in the corporate world. She had wanted to be independent, to carve out her own path. The unexpected pregnancy and subsequent marriage to Musa had derailed those dreams, and she couldn't help but bemoan the loss of her ambitions. Tessie, her closest friend, was the one person Amaka felt she could open up to. Over countless phone calls and visits, she poured out her frustrations. "Tessie, sometimes I feel like I'm suffocating," she confessed one afternoon, her voice heavy with emotion. "I had so many plans, so many dreams, and now I feel like I'm just existing, not living." Tessie, always a voice of reason and support, listened patiently. "Amaka, I know it's hard, but you have to find a way to make peace with your choices. You've built a beautiful family, and that's something to be proud of." Musa's constant travels for work added to Amaka's loneliness. He was often away for weeks, leaving her to manage the household and care for their daughter Aisha on her own. While he provided for them materially, his absence created a void that only deepened Amaka's feelings of isolation. "Why does he have to be gone so much?" she lamented to Tessie. "I feel like a single parent most of the time. It's not just about the money, I need him here with us." Whenever Musa was home, Amaka tried to express her feelings to him, but it often led to arguments. "Musa, I'm not happy," she would say, her voice tinged with frustration. "I need more than just money." I need to feel like my life has meaning. Musa, tired from his travels and focused on his work, struggled to understand. Amaka, I'm doing everything I can to provide for us. Isn't that enough? You don't have to work, you don't have to worry about anything. Why can't you just be content? Over time, Amaka's resentment grew. She loved her daughter dearly and cared for her with all her heart, but she couldn't shake the feeling of being trapped. The life she led felt like a far cry from the one she had envisioned for herself. Every day, she was reminded of the sacrifices she had made, and it left her, feeling bitter and regretful. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Musa arrived. He enveloped Amaka in a comforting embrace, bringing her back from her journey into the past. Together, they resolved to do whatever it took to find their loved ones and bring them home safely. Musa, driven by desperation and fear for his daughter and Tessie, quickly mobilized every resource at his disposal. With the help of the police, he put up a substantial reward for any information leading to the whereabouts of Aisha and Tessie. Flyers with their pictures were distributed throughout the city, and news channels broadcast their images and details, pleading for the public's help. 3 days after the ordeal began, a woman named Sarah, who ran a popular food stand in a busy part of the city, came forward. She had seen the news and recognized the missing child and her friend. "I remember them," she told the police, her voice filled with certainty. "The woman, Tessie, stopped by my truck. She bought some food and water. I vividly remember the little girl because she had a unique backpack with colorful patterns." With this new information, Musa, Amaka, and the police intensified their search in the area Mrs. Sarah mentioned. They canvassed the neighborhood, knocking on doors, showing the pictures, and asking if anyone had seen Tessie and Aisha. The police set up a command center nearby to coordinate efforts more effectively, but they found nothing. All the way in Abuja, Tessie's worried husband sees the news of the missing little girl Aisha and his wife and immediately calls the number displayed on the screen. John's heart pounded in his chest as he waited for the call to connect. When Musa answered, his voice was heavy with concern and exhaustion. "Hello? Is this Mr. Musa?" John asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Yes, this is Musa. Who's calling?" Musa's voice was equally tense, the strain of the past few days evident. "This is John, Tessie's husband. I saw the missing persons ad on the news. I think I can help," John began, his voice cracking with emotion. Musa felt a flicker of hope. "Please tell me anything you know. Where is Tessie? Where is my daughter?" John took a deep breath. Tessie has been struggling with her mental health for a while now. She's been in and out of therapy, but things have been particularly bad lately. We had a miscarriage a few months ago, our third, and it really took a toll on her. She had a breakdown recently. I think that might explain why she took your daughter. She wasn't thinking clearly. Musa listened intently, his heart aching for both Tessie and his missing daughter. "Do you have any idea where they might be?" John shook his head, though Musa couldn't see it. "No, but she might be trying to recreate a sense of family, something stable. There are a few places she used to go when she needed to clear her head. I can give you those locations." Musa grabbed a pen and paper. "Please, anything helps. Just give me the addresses." As John provided the information, Musa's determination grew. "Thank you, John. We'll find them. We'll bring them both home safely." John sighed in relief. "Thank you, Musa. And I'm sorry for everything. Tessie didn't mean any harm. She's just lost right now." Musa nodded, understanding the pain in John's voice. "I know. We'll find them. Together." Despite the efforts of the police and the media, there was still no lead and the case seemed to be going nowhere. Amaka and Musa, though exhausted, never lost hope. They had faith that their daughter would come back to them. Finally, one late evening on the 7th day, a man named Mr. Okafor, a janitor at a bus park in Ogun State, made a call. He had just seen a woman and a child fitting Tessie and Aisha's description 5 minutes ago, waiting for their bus to fill up. Musa thanked the man. He asked the man to please keep an eye on the woman and child and keep him updated, promising Mr. Okafor a huge reward. Musa immediately relayed the information to the police, and police officers in that area were quickly dispatched. The police quickly surrounded the bus park. Moments later, a police officer emerged, carrying Aisha in his arms. She looked tired but unharmed. Behind him, Tessie walked out, visibly shaken with her head bowed down. They were both placed into the police car and driven to the station. Amaka, Musa, and John arrived at the police station 2 hours later. Amaka ran to her daughter, tears streaming down her face as she held Aisha tightly. Musa enveloped both of them in a protective embrace. "Thank God," he sighed. Tessie, sitting quietly on the bench, watched the reunion with tears in her eyes. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just wanted to feel whole again." John walked over to Tessie, gently taking her hand. "We know, Tessie. We're going to get you the help you need." Amaka looked up at Tessie, her eyes filled with a mix of anger and sympathy. "You scared us. But I'm glad you're safe too. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you open up to me?" Amaka asked. "I don't know," Tessie replied, tears falling from her eyes. "You seemed like you were going through a lot, and I thought I could deal with my issues," Tessie said. Musa and Amaka refused to press charges. They thanked the police officers for their efforts, said goodbye to John and Tessie, and finally left the police station. Amaka held her daughter close, feeling the weight of the past few days begin to lift. Musa kept a protective arm around them, his eyes filled with determination and relief. A few months after the incident, Tessie is not only getting the medical help that she needs, but is also expecting her first child. Amaka now runs a small business of her own. Her relationship with Musa had greatly improved, and they are more in love.